Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Cup, our new-ish YouTube series where we're talking about all things behind the scenes Canada Beer Cup. My name is Hilary Hoogsteen. I'm the competition manager, and today I am here with our 2023 Best in Show winners, Deadfall Brewing, Brandon and Erin. How's it going?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having us.
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm so glad it worked to connect today. And I know you're in the middle of a brew, so
We're you know what I'm doing. So yeah.
Yes, Brandon is brewer and head janitor, as he likes to say. So we're very small operation, so there's not people
Not a
in
lot
the
of
background
downtime.
for us.
Yeah.
So if we see Brandon hop up, it's just because things are happening in real time. So I would love to hear about your journey from, I believe you both started as home brewers. I think you may have some roots in Saskatchewan, I may have heard. So kind of take us through the story of starting there all the way to winning best in show.
Yeah, we've been brewing together for quite a long time. I think actually I started brewing just before I met Erin. 2006, I think, was my first batch. It was with a buddy of mine in undergrad. It was terrible. It was that high test, super potent, just, anyway. And then Erin and I picked up the hobby in 07, 08 together.
Yeah, in Alberta.
Yeah, in Alberta. Well, we were doing grad studies. So she was doing a PhD and I was doing a master's. And of course, it's cheap beer, so you make your own. And being scientists, we just really got into it. So like really into the weeds. And that's a lovely thing about homebrewing. It can be as simple as you want it to be, or you can just go down the rabbit hole, let me tell you. So yeah, we brewed a lot in those early years in Calgary. And then moved to Saskatchewan, to Regina in 2015. Got really big into the homebrew club. I was the membership director and stuff. And so, yeah, made a lot of good connections there. And the cool thing about that club, the Ale and Lager Enthusiasts of Saskatchewan, you get to have these homebrew meetings where you're like sharing and talking about homebrew with pro brewers. So a lot of the pro brewers in the area actually attend those meetings. So you get to make good connections, and it's really cool that way. So
actually, a couple of the other breweries in Saskatchewan that won awards at the Canada Beer Cup. So we were live streaming our watching of the awards. So Pile of Bones won awards, Rebellion won awards, Nokomis Craft Ales won awards, Blackbridge won awards, and these are all people from that homebrew club in Regina. And Brandon had made the transition from homebrewing to pro brewing,
as they all did as well.
No
formal training there at all. So.
Went from homebrewing, so finished his PhD in biology, and then went on to be a professional brewer at Nokomis Craft Ales. And then I got a professorship in Prince George, and here we are.
Okay, that's helping connect the dots, because I was dropping off some awards in the area and they all seem to know you very well. So that's really neat.
Yeah, you should have seen the care package they sent out right after, like just oodles of beer, and it's fantastic. Just such great support from them. So
yeah, community is fantastic.
Yeah,
that's so cool. So tell us a little bit about what winning the Best in Show trophy's been like. How has that kind of impacted being a smaller brewery and then getting this like national recognition? What did that look like?
Oh, that was wild.
To put it into context, we haven't even quite been open 2 years. It'll be 2 years in June. This June. So winning something like this is such a young brewery and really Prince George is still a developing craft beer market. There's a couple other craft breweries in Prince George, but people are still learning and still growing with it. People didn't even know we existed, right? We're still really new. So it suddenly went, wait, who? From where? There was a lot of that.
Yeah. And as you know, I didn't believe it, as you very well know, because I don't know how many emails I sent you after being like, what video? Why would I record this? Like, clearly you got something wrong here. Yeah, it's sorry about that.
No, it was so sweet, to be honest. And it was as a competition organizer, so we don't always tip off the winners just for any future years. We don't always tell people, but I knew we were trying to get you to come. So I did let you know that you'd won something very prestigious ahead of time, and I still remember typing out an email, Brendan, you have won the Canada Beer Cup, because you just couldn't believe it, which was it was kind of neat from our end, actually, that you were just so taken aback. So
so even right up until you announced it, like right up until then, we were kind of still like, maybe we could just ask all the top finalists to do this. Like there's really still like, there's no way. Like, but
which maybe I'll do in a future year. So very cool. Was it a little bit like overwhelming to have such an influx of, were you getting a lot of requests for that beer, or?
Yeah, not really overwhelming for us, because we have a guy on our team, Ivan, does sales marketing and stuff, and so he had to field all of the requests from social media and email. Like he was doing dozens a day, where he was just like, I'm sorry, we can't get this beer to you in Ontario. Like, yeah, it was weeks of that. So thanks, Ivan, for handling that. So yeah, but it was pretty crazy. We're getting requests from all over. So and of course we're so small, like we barely distribute out of Prince George. So even the Lower Mainland hasn't really seen this beer yet. So again, sorry about that. But maybe next time I go down, I'll bring a truckload. But
I think what was really great was that, yes, there was lots of requests for, oh, can we get 50 flats of that? And we're like, no, we don't even make 50 flats at a time. So no. And as Brandon just said, wanting that in Lower Mainland and lots of interest from there. The week right after it was announced, our tap room was full of people who had driven up from Vancouver and just made a weekend of it. They're like, well, we thought we could come up and see what all the like fuss was about. And they stopped at a couple breweries along the way, and they went to the other craft breweries in town. And it was just really like, oh, hi, welcome. They're like, oh, you're really small. Yes. So it was, the love was great. It was very good for us. Yeah.
That is so cool. And it's cool that like it drew people all the way to Prince George. I love that. It's really
it was good. It was good for everybody. So yeah.
Cool. Well, for the beer nerds that might be watching, everybody's probably dying to know, what's the secret sauce in the Basal Brown Ale? What makes it so special?
Love.
Love. A lot of love. That honestly, that beer wouldn't be around unless we loved it so much. It's just, it was a big homebrew for us. Like we always had the brown on for some reason. It was always been one of my favorite styles. It hits all the notes, right? Like it's so pedestrian, but that's why it's so good.
We'll clarify. It's like, an American style brand.
So it's not in English. So it's hoppy, but not super hoppy. It's malty, but not super malty. It's a little roasty, but not like a stout. It's also, finishes drier than you'd think, bigger, sweeter stouts would. So it hits everything for me. So we've always had it on tap. And that was the first beer I ran through the system here. That was batch number 1, because I know it so well. And that's how you test a new system. You brew a beer that you're like, I know this beer. I know how this should finish. So that's why I did it. And yeah, we were this close to turfing it that summer. That batch that we submitted for the beer cup was the last tweak in the last batch I was going to brew, because it wasn't moving. It just wasn't moving. So I gave it one last shot. I was like, that's it. And then this happened. So
talk about a turn of events.
Yeah.
And it is, I think, the style, the other breweries in town that make any brown ales, if there are 2 breweries in town that make brown ales, they lean more towards that English style.
Yeah.
And that's what people were kind of expecting from it, but it is much bigger than that. And people, I think, were a little bit scared to try it, because they were like, oh, I don't really want a really super dark beer. We're like, just try it. And so it was just getting people to try it. And as soon as people try it, they love it. Because it's so well balanced. Like Brandon's crafted beautiful beer. And that was the big hurdle. We don't have that hurdle anymore. So that's nice.
Now one of our top sellers. So.
But yeah,
I gotta check this one.
Well, hopefully you'll be at the gala this year, because we're going to be in BC. Hand off your cup.
We are very excited.
Much easier when you can.
It's much easier to get from Prince George to Vancouver than Prince George to Niagara Falls. Prince George is only a few flights out a day. So
Yes. Well, we'll have you hand over your beautiful trophy when the time comes, as Callister handed it off to you.
Kind of see it way in the background over there, apparently, but
Uh-huh.
it is absolutely gorgeous. And so we're really looking forward to that. Mhm.
It is a really beautiful trophy. And I'm not sure who decided on glass because it's very stressful for me to ship. Lots of insuring and bubble wrapping, but I'm glad it arrived safely.
It did arrive safely, and I right away vetoed drinking beer out of the cup. I was like, nope, that is going to get it broken. So we're going to put it on up and away from everybody. Yes. So there you go. It's in good hands.
You can drink out of the little one.
That's a great idea.
I was just talking with the trophy manufacturers and they're like, we don't recommend that. I mean, it's food grade resin, but we don't recommend it. Like everybody does.
Yes. Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about the name and the bats. I want to hear about the bats.
Okay. So
Should be good for a little bit.
So Brandon and I, are you talking about the name of the beer or the name of the brewery? Both?
Well, how about both?
Yeah. So Brandon and I both have PhDs in biology. We both actually did our master's and PhDs studying bats. And our other owners, Jane and Will, we all met at university. Jane also has a PhD. She's actually a professor at Simon Fraser. She's also a biologist, and Will is a psych doctor. So lots of doctoring happening around. And so we knew that we really wanted to focus on the name and all the names of beers and the brewery about biology. Like really like that's, and so, and deadfall, some people don't know what it is, but it's when trees fall down, it's those like horse-ready debris or that downed wood.
Ah, okay.
Yep. And so, and you need that. It's a recycling of nutrients, of all that material, creates space. You can't have life without death. And so there's that beauty in deadfall. You can't have beer without multiple generations of yeast giving up their lives for us. And so there's that beauty in that. And so we really wanted to focus on that. And the name for the brown ale, as I said, all the names of the beers are all biology based, and Basal is base. All right, so it's that like first, and that was our first beer that we brewed here. It was important to us. And we put a bat on the label. It's a Townsend's Big-Eared Bat, which are just like adorable. I would do the Google. Townsend's Big-Eared Bats. And they, for us, again, putting a bat on the brown label was important because it was kind of how we met, was doing bat work and stuff. So there's a lot of heart and soul and nerdiness in all of the naming things and all the branding. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just kind of a tie to your roots. I really love that.
It was important. So yeah, we've like it's real nerdy around here. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's clearly paying off.
It's good.
And then one other kind of final thing I wanted to touch on. So in your acceptance video speech, one of the things that really stood out to me was you specifically mentioning like how much you've really focused on creating an inclusive space in your tap room and how important that is to you. I'd love if you'd share a little bit about that with us.
Yeah, that's kind of, go for it.
Yeah, it's kind of fundamental to just who we are, I think, as people, is that if you celebrate, here we're going to get dirty. If you celebrate biodiversity, if you celebrate diversity, you celebrate all types of diversity. And people are so diverse, and they're not always, that diversity is not always allowed to shine. And I know as a woman in brewing, as a queer woman in brewing, not necessarily always the most welcoming, warm spaces that you feel safe and comfortable in. These spaces aren't designed for me. They aren't designed for people in wheelchairs. They're designed for people who may fall among multiple genders. They're not designed for them. So we purposefully, when we were building it, Brandon and I built the brewery. I say Brandon and I, but Brandon built the brewery. We fought really hard for all gendered washrooms. We provide free menstrual products. We actively create protective spaces. We're one of the first breweries in the area to have a code of conduct for staff and for clientele. And when we designed the place, we designed it with warmth and accessibility and inclusivity and protecting those spaces right into all of our business models, right into where we donate money, who we donate money to, who we hire. And it's been really reflective. Like the people who come to the brewery love the brewery. It's become a really important community hub for lots of people who just didn't feel as welcomed or as loved or supported in other places. And so we just really believe it and try really hard to foster that. So I think that's, yeah. Anything else? No? Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah, thank you for the intention behind that. And what a beautiful step forward for the industry. I think that's really significant and really important. So appreciate the work that you're doing.
Yeah, we're trying. You try. That's all you can do, right? And lead by example.
Doing our best, brewing our best. That's all you can do, right?
Yeah.
Out there and then see what comes back to you. So yeah.
And I think one of the things that was important to us, and it's come up lately, because we're so small. How many hecks are we?
7. Yeah.
Because we're so small and we distribute in such a small area, like really, we can't even fulfill all of our orders in Prince George. You started to talk about working more in a bakery model. Here's what's fresh this week. Here's your fresh wheat. Here's what we have available. Would you like to grab some of that? And we work more on that. We sell out, but quality of life is important to us, and we're small, so it's also building that community and that inclusive small space that you come in to the brewery to see what's fresh, like you would with your local bakery or like you would with that. Focusing on staying small and staying community focused, and
because there was no big expansion or anything. Like sales doubled overnight when we won that award. It's sustained itself pretty much. We've seen a solid 30-40% bump. January and February didn't suck for us this year, so that's good. But we didn't. I mean, the first thing we did was give all our staff a raise in November because they were getting slammed. They were absolutely getting slammed out front, and we were just like, oh yeah, like we appreciate you. I bought myself a new squeegee last week. That's all we've done. That's basically it. Like, there's been no no new equipment, or it's just we're just kind of trucking on. But the squeegee is nice though.
Oh, it was so bad. Anyway,
you know, put that out so many times. But
You
anyway,
deserve the squeegee.
And Carhartts. Oh, he bought a pair of
I
Carhartt
did.
overalls as well.
Well, that's a real splurge.
Yeah. There you go. That was the
Finally
splurge.
made me feel like a big boy brewer. So it's like, but anyway, yeah. So that's kind of like we're just kind of trucking along, doing the same thing. Keeping it small and intimate, and yeah, that's kind of what we want to do.
Best beer we can make, and the best place we can make it. So we're trying.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, it sounds like you're doing a fantastic job, and I love that you're really staying true to who you are, despite receiving, the most prestigious award in Canada, being, your beer being considered the best. So, that many breweries would use that as an opportunity to scale, but I think it's really neat that you know who you are and you're sticking to that, and people are gonna have to drive to Prince George if they want to get some. So
there you go. See what's on the fresh sheet that week.
Yep. Yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
Well, was there anything else that you wanted to touch on while I've got you here?
I think we pretty much.
I think we're just so excited that the next one is going to be in Vancouver, so we can be there and get to see everybody and sell it, and it'll feel like a delayed celebration. And so excited to see who's coming up next.
That announcement was amazing because I was stressing out a little bit. I mean, we have the cup, so I had to go to the next one, right? So the next beer cup, Canada Beer Cup. So it's really nice that it's in the same place, because taking a week off for the BC Beer Con pretty much means I can't do much else for a while. So that's hence why I wasn't in Niagara. So but yeah, so it's nice. It'll be good to have it in BC. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. BC brewers have done so well in the Canada Beer Cup the last 2 years, And so, much as I'd like to see that even out a little bit, it'll be fun to celebrate with all of our winners in person. And New West is such a fun place. We're gonna have an after party at Steel and Oak, so it's gonna be just a really great time.
Yeah,
It's gonna be good.
good. Well, we're excited.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for connecting today, and it was great to meet you in person.
Yeah.
Zoom land.
Thanks for the chat, and I guess we will see you in October.
We'll see you in October. Cheers.
Exciting. Okay. Thanks.